Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Christine. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you make it to the end of the video and you find this video helpful and insightful. At first off, I want to just apologize for any sound issues and lighting you hear in the background. I'm currently working on improving my setup, so I apologize in advance. I'm hoping to get a mic that is compatible with my phone and some other things to help with the quality of this video. So let's jump into why I clicked. I spent some time away from Nigeria and I want to give a summary of some of the things I experienced while I was living in Lagos, Nigeria. And as I do that chit chat, I want to moisturize my hair, my TWA, which I washed yesterday. But I want to try and moisturize it as we go ahead in this video. So I hope I'm able to do this because I'm terrible at multitasking, but fingers crossed I can do this. So the products I'll be using to moisturize my hair is this Shea Butter Leave-In Treatment, Shea Moisture, and this kind of really bright, but from Superdrug, very affordable product. Here we go. So this is my first video back, and so bear with me if I'm all over the place, but I have some notes or some jottings that I made which should help me structure this video in a way that makes sense. Now, why did I move to Nigeria? Or why did I move to Lagos in Nigeria? For context, I've been living in the UK. I was born in the UK. I've spent most of my life here, but I've also spent some time in Nigeria. And I'd gotten to a point in my life when I felt I needed a change of environment, and I decided I was going to move to Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. Some of the things that helped me make this decision were some videos of fellow Nigerians, returnees as they're called, and Nigerians in the diaspora who had returned to Nigeria for whatever reasons, business, family, etc. I watched these contexts. I watched these videos before making the decision, and I'd also been praying about it. So it kind of it felt like it was the right time to leave to Nigeria. Anyways, I found myself in Nigeria, and what I want to say is if you're going to move to any country, make sure you've done your research and make sure you have accommodation of some sort, because that will be your biggest concern or biggest cause of worry in a foreign country, which is accommodation. You need to have the place you're going to rest your head every night secured. You don't want a situation where you're spending all your money or on accommodation and you're worrying and stressing over accommodation in a foreign land. And this is where sometimes you can fall victims to scams and all of these things. So for me, part of what made my transition to Nigeria easier was because my dad is in Nigeria and has a home in a very secure part of Lagos, Nigeria. It's called the mainland, and the estate itself is self-sufficient, so they have made certain provisions available. Because another thing you should know about Nigeria is there is a lack of infrastructure across board. So individuals and companies tend to serve their needs themselves. So the estate I was in was responsible for ensuring there was stable electricity, internet, good water, etc., etc. So I didn't have to worry about all these things. To be honest, it felt like I was living in the UK. And a plus for me was because I was staying in my father's house, the bills were covered by him. So my money was my money. I didn't have to pay for anything additional. So that's what I'll say you should really consider if you're thinking of going to Nigeria, especially, is that have accommodation and all of those things sorted. So what I learned while I was in Nigeria, if you're thinking of moving to Nigeria, I'll say Nigeria is a country that challenges you as an individual. I mean, every day you'll see something that just, if you go out, you'll see something that would shock you and you'll be like, I never thought I could see this. For example, this is a funny story, but it's I can remember it today because it made an impact on me. It was when I saw um, a goat on an okada, on a commercial motorcycle, being transported from one place to another, like a goat in traffic. And it was normal. It's normal in Nigeria, but to me, I was just like, this is crazy. Like, how do you put a goat on a commercial motorcycle and you're taking it from point A to point B? It was just jokes. But, those are the kind of things you see in Nigeria. So many things that would shock you and make you reevaluate things you know. So, if you're looking for a place that challenges you, Nigeria is a place to be. Some of the pros, I will give you briefly some of the pros of going to Nigeria or living in a place like Lagos, Nigeria. Is, like I said, a sense of challenge. As an individual, it's a good environment to find yourself and to test your mettle. Like, you think you're roughing it abroad, go to Lagos, Nigeria. You would see hustlers that have degree in hustling. Like, the hustle in Lagos is none other. I'm telling you, it's none other. If you need motivation, if you need to see hardworking people, Lagos is the place. Second thing is there's a sense of community. In the Nigerians everywhere across the world, we know this, but there's nothing like having a high number of them in a place. And the sense of community, we're talking about church, even when you go out to the supermarket, you go out to social areas. Nigerians are very social people naturally, so you don't feel like an outsider if you're among them. They'll treat you well if you treat them well. Those are the kind of people, they give you back the same energy you give them. So that's a good thing about being in Nigeria, in Lagos, Nigeria. Another pro is it's a different way of life. So you're used to splitting the bills, whatever environment you're used to from before, flip that, like throw that away. When you're in Lagos, everything is new, everything is brand new. You have to do everything yourself. And I know it's the same for a place like UK, but this is difficult in the sense that nothing works. So something as simple as paying your electricity bill. If you're fortunate enough to live in the estate I have, they had self terminals around where you could take your electricity card and do it yourself. But sometimes this is not the case. So something as simple as recharging your electricity is a challenge. Gas, you have to go to gas stations to get your cooking gas. I'm talking about cooking gas for yourself. If you're not mobile, if you don't have a car, this can be quite challenging. So in a way, you can be better as a person and become self-reliant when you've been able to overcome this thing. There's this sense of accomplishment you feel being able to tackle the hurdles that Nigeria throws at you, because baby, from day one there is hurdles in your way. Even from the airport, you're seeing things that you're like, this is where I am. But you have to have that mindset that nothing works in Nigeria, and just come and expect the unexpected and you'll be fine. Don't come to Nigeria with, oh, why is Nigeria like this? Why is Lagos like this? Why can't things be better? No, leave that aside. Nigeria is a third world country. We have so many issues in the country, so you have to accept this for you to be able to function well in Nigeria. Sense of family in Nigeria as well is a good thing. If you find your people, I'm telling you, it's a lovely place to stay. It's just unfortunate, with everything going on, bad governance, inflation, all of that. But it's a wonderful place to live when you have family, when you have the means. I highly recommend it. And another thing Nigeria gives you is time to reflect. There's a lot of unemployed people in Nigeria, sadly. But with this comes time. You have so much time to do anything. You can start a trade, start an online business, decide you want to do fit farm for an extended period of time. Nigeria affords you this thing. So far as you have your needs being met, you're good to go. I don't really want to go into the cons of living in Nigeria because I believe I've covered most of it, and I don't want to be negative, but do I recommend moving to Lagos, Nigeria? I do. If you're in a phase where in your life where you can be flexible, I do. If you're in a phase where you can move alone, I recommend it. You can. Your mistakes are yours. The problems that you face will only make you stronger in Nigeria, and it's you who will deal with the consequences and the aftermath of this decision. I recommend it, but I don't recommend it for a long period of time. I recommend Nigeria in small doses. Nigeria is that thing. They said like too much of a good thing is bad. That's Nigeria and Lagos. Consume in small doses at your own risk. Don't get sucked in and feel you have to live here and also no. Come and spend time. Then later on, if Nigeria is a place and Lagos is a place that appeals to you, then you can move for a longer period of time. But still, I caution you to just limit your time in Nigeria. 3 months, 6 months, okay. If you're going on a year, still relatively okay, but just be mindful of your expenses, be mindful of the area that you're in and the people that you surround yourself with. And I wish you all the best in your decision if you choose to relocate and all that. This is this comes to the end of this video. I hope it was insightful. I hope you learned one or two things, and I will bring more content, Nigeria content. If you have any questions or anything you want to know in depth, please drop them below. I stayed in Lagos, Nigeria, so all my knowledge and everything I learned will be specific to that region. So I hope I can help you. I hope this video was helpful in any way, and I plan to speak more about some of the lifestyle changes that I made. For example, cutting my hair. I've never had hair this short before, so I want to speak about my experiences. And now that I'm back in the UK, and I hope this channel grows as you stay on with me.